Ancient Pagan Gods, Episode 1, The Morrigan, Phantom Queen of Fate and Fury, open quote, she comes not as comfort but as truth. She is the raven on the battlefield, the whisper before death, the cry that births kings and buries them, close quote. Introduction. Who is the Morrigan? The Morrigan, pronounced Morrigan, is one of the most enigmatic and powerful goddesses of Irish paganism. She is not a gentle mother, nor a distant sky queen. She is war, fate, prophecy, sovereignty, and death woven into one. Her name translates to Great Queen or Phantom Queen, and like mist across a battlefield, she is both one and many. Sometimes she appears as a single goddess, other times as three sisters. Badb, the storm crow who shrieks over carnage. Macha, the swift one of sovereignty and curse. Nemainand, frenzy and spectral terror. Together, or alone, she shapes kingship, war, and the turning of destiny. She does not punish unjustly nor protect blindly. She tests, she chooses, and she reminds mortals of their oaths. Symbols and forms of the Morrigan. She is a shapeshifter, never bound to one face. Raven, crow, perched atop spears, crying omens before battle. Washer at the ford, seen washing the armour of those doomed to die. Sovereign queen, offering kingship to those worthy and stripping it from those who break their word. Red woman on a chariot, fierce and laughing amidst chaos. Spectral lover, who embraces heroes at the height of their pride to test their soul. Myths of power and prophecy. One of her most famous tales is with Cu Chulainn, the greatest hero of Ulster. She offered him love and protection before his final battle. He rejected her, not knowing who she was. So she appeared 3 times in animal forms, a heifer, an eel, a wolf, trying to hinder him. He wounded her each time. Later, as he lay dying and bleeding, an old crone offered him water. She was the Morrigan. He drank, she had the last word. Open quote, you may fight fate, but fate will drink from your wounds, close quote. Domains and modern devotion. To call upon the Morrigan is not to ask for peace, it is to ask for clarity, strength, courage, sovereignty of spirit. She is invoked by warriors, physical or spiritual, those breaking chains, leaving toxic patterns or people, those seeking rebirth through blood, sweat or grief, those reclaiming power, especially women and the oppressed. Her lessons are not gentle, but they are true. Misconceptions? Let us set the record straight. She is not evil. War goddesses are not villains. They are the edge between life and death. She is not simply a death goddess. She is sovereignty itself, testing who is worthy to rule their fate. She is not only for warriors, she comes to poets, seers, witches, and survivors. Closing thought. The Morrigan does not knock politely. She arrives as dreams of crows, sudden thunder, the urge to walk away from what weakens you. She does not say, "Are you ready?" She says, "Stand up. Choose. Act. Will you?" Ancient Pagan Gods, Episode 2. Cernunnos, Lord of the Wild, Keeper of Beasts, Guardian of the Hidden Path. Open quote, not all gods dwell in temples. Some wait in silence beneath moss and root, antlers tangled in moonlight, watching to see if you remember how to listen. Close quote. Introduction. Who is Cernunnos? Cernunnos, pronounced Cernunnos, is one of the oldest and most mysterious gods of the Celtic world. His name appears only a few times in ancient inscriptions, yet his image is everywhere. A horned god, seated cross-legged like a yogi or shaman, adorned with stag antlers, holding a torque sacred ring in one hand and a serpent or animal in the other, surrounded by deer, wolves, bulls, and wild creatures. He is not a god of war or thunder, nor of kings or law. He is older, wilder, quieter. He is the spirit of the untamed world. Domains and symbolism. Wild nature. Forests, animals, pagan instinct. Fertility and virility, not domestic romance, but primal life force. Wealth and cycles, not coins in a purse, but abundance of the land. Balance between predator and prey. The sacred equilibrium of life. Cernunnos does not rule nature, he embodies it. Cernunnos in myth. Though few written myths survive, we can read his story through iconography. On the Gundestrup cauldron, a great silver vessel from Iron Age Europe, he sits among beasts, calm and regal, the stillness at the heart of the forest. On other carvings, he feeds a stag from his hand as if priest and god in one body. In later folklore, echoes remain in figures like Herne the Hunter, the Green Man, and the Horned One of witchcraft. He is the bridge between man and beast, spirit and soil. Modern devotion and lessons of the horned god. To walk with Cernunnos is to reclaim instinct, remembering your animal spirit, silence, not emptiness, but deep communion, sovereignty of the body, sexuality without shame, freedom without guilt. The wild self, the part of you that refuses to be domesticated. He does not demand prayer, he demands presence. Sit beneath a tree, remove your shoes, breathe with the moss, and you're already in his temple. Misconceptions. Let us dispel some modern confusion. He is not the devil. Horns are older than Christianity. He is not merely a male fertility god. His virility is sacred life force, not crude desire. He is not evil or savage. He represents balance, not chaos. Cernunnos is the quiet breath of the forest, not the roar of conquest. Closing thought, you do not summon Cernunnos. You remember him. He lives in every heartbeat that quickens at the smell of rain, every soul that feels more alive among trees than walls, every human who aches for a world before chains. Open quote, when you stand at the edge of the woods, trembling between fear and wonder, that is where he waits. Episode 3. Brigid, flame of the hearth, forge and poet's tongue, open quote. She is the fire that warms, the fire that shapes, and the fire that speaks, close quote, open quote. Call her in the morning mist or by the first spark of dawn, and she will answer in flame and spring water, close quote. Introduction. Who is Brigid? Brigid, pronounced Brigid, Bridi, or G, is one of the most beloved goddesses of Celtic tradition. She is triple and yet one, not in the dark, warlike sense of the Morrigan, but as creator, nurturer, and inspirer. She is Brigid of the hearth, protector of homes, mothers, and healing, and Brigid of the forge, patroness of smiths, craftspeople, and transformation. Brigid of poetry and prophecy, muse of bards, poets, and prophets. Her domains are fire and water, healing and creation, domestic peace, and revolutionary inspiration. She is softness with steel beneath. Symbols and sacred animals. The eternal flame, once tended by 19 priestesses in Kildare sacred wells found across Ireland and the British Isles. Cows, symbols of nourishment and abundance. White swan, grace and purity. Early spring flowers, snowdrops, buttercups, dandelions. Her festival, Imbolc, February 1st, marks the first breath of spring, the moment winter loosens its grip. Myths and worship. In myth, Brigid is daughter of the Dagda, chief of the Tuatha De Danann and wife of Brez, a Fomorian king. She bridges tribes, uniting craft and sovereignty. When her son died in battle, she keened the first lament in history, creating the tradition of wailing at funerals. Thus she is also goddess of grief made sacred. Later, the Christians tried to absorb her as Saint Brigid, yet her fire and wells remained pagan at their core. The flame in Kildare was rekindled in 1993 and still burns today. Gifts and lessons of Brigid. To follow Brigid is to tend your own fire. She teaches, nurture what sustains you. A hearth must be fed. Shape your life like metal through heat and will. Speak with purpose. Words are spells. Transform pain into poetry. Nothing is wasted. She is patron of caregivers, artisans, midwives, herbalists, writers, and rebels with tender hands. Misconceptions. She is not merely a gentle goddess. She is fierce compassion, the kind that defends the vulnerable and forges nations. She is not just a saint. Her pagan fire has never gone out, only worn a cloak when necessary. Closing thought. Brigid is the light in the window during a storm, the first green shoot after frost, the warm hands that craft beauty from hardship. She will not demand, she will encourage, whisper, remind you of your spark. Open quote. Tend to your flame, for the world is cold, and you were born to shine. Episode 4. Hecate, keeper of keys, Guidonite witch queen of the crossroads. Open quote. When the world sleeps, and only the dogs bark in the dark, she walks, she watch in one hand, blade in the other, followed by restless souls and silent wolves. Close quote. Introduction. Who is Hecate? Hecate, pronounced Hecate or Hecate, is one of the most ancient and powerful goddesses of the Greek world, older even than Zeus. She is liminal, meaning she rules not over one place, but the thresholds between all things, between life and death, between light and darkness, between choice and destiny. She is the guardian of crossroads, the torchbearer of witches, the keeper of keys between worlds. Not evil, not gentle, sovereign, silent, watching. Symbols and forms, twin torches to light the hidden path, keys to unlock the doors between realms, black dogs or wolves, her spectral companions. Offerings of honey, garlic and eggs left at crossroads at night. Triple form goddess, maiden, mother and crone facing in 3 directions. She stands where 3 roads meet, facing past, present and unseen future. Myths and ancient worship. In the Homeric hymns, she is granted dominion over sky, sea and earth. No other god questioned her power. In the myth of Persephone, she is the only deity who heard the maiden's screams as Hades took her and later became her guide between worlds, torch in hand. She is often shown accompanied by the restless dead or banishing evil spirits from doorways. Her worship was mysterious and personal, conducted at night at hidden shrines, at thresholds. She was beloved by midwives, travellers, outcasts and witches. Modern devotion and lessons of Hecate. To walk with Hecate is to stand unafraid in the dark. She teaches, you are the key bearer to your own path. No one opens the door for you. The unknown is not your enemy. It is your initiation. Light your own way, even if you walk alone. Spirit allies walk with you, even when unseen. She is called upon in shadow work and ancestral healing, protection magic and banishing rituals, decision-making at life's crossroads. Misconceptions. Not a dark goddess in the evil sense. She banishes corruption and deceit, not spreads it. Not merely crone, she is all cycles at once. Not to be invoked lightly. She answers those who act with intention, not curiosity. She is less a mother, more a mentor, demanding self-sovereignty. Closing thought. Hecate does not offer comfort. She offers clarity. She will not carry you, but she will walk beside you as you choose your path. Open quote. At the crossroads, do not ask for an easier road. Ask for her torch and walk forward. Close quote. Episode 5. The Dagda, good father of feast, fury and sacred earth. Open quote. He is the one who laughs loudest at the table, fights hardest in the field, and leaves no friend hungry nor enemy unchallenged. Close quote. Introduction. Who is the Dagda? The Dagda, pronounced Da-Jada, is one of the most powerful and beloved gods of the Irish Tuatha De Danann. His name means the good god, not because he is morally perfect, but because he is good at everything. He is Lord of Abundance. His cauldron never runs empty. Protector and warrior, his club can kill with one end and resurrect with the other. God of the land, he mates with the earth goddess to renew sovereignty. Patron of music and druids, his enchanted harp plays sleep, joy or sorrow at will. He is laughter and law, hospitality and wrath, wine and thunder. Symbols and sacred objects. The cauldron of plenty, Quansik. No warrior leaves it unsatisfied. The clubmore. One side deals death, the other restores life. The harp, Withni, stolen once by the Fomorians, reclaimed with fury. Oak trees and sacred earth, symbols of his immense grounding power. Myths and deeds. In the Second Battle of Magtuid, the Dagda fought beside Lugan the Tuatha, both healer and destroyer, made love to the Morrigan at the River Unius on Samhain, sealing a cosmic pact between sovereignty and strength. Ate porridge from a vat so huge that he had to drag his belly afterward, pridefully and without shame. He is as sacred as he is ridiculous, divine in both glory and hunger. Lessons and devotion. To follow the Dagda is to live fully, boldly, unapologetically. He teaches, take joy in your body, feast without shame. Protect what is yours, fiercely. Give generously, abundance comes from sharing. Speak plainly, truth does not need polish. He is the patron of warriors, farmers, druids, musicians, and anyone who lives loud and loves hard. Misconceptions, not a foolish giant. His humour is strategy, to disarm the arrogant. Not merely a dad god, he is lover, warrior, bard, king, and chaos in flesh. Not solely benevolent, he blesses his kin and crushes his foes without hesitation. He is ferocity wrapped in warmth. Closing thought. The Dagda reminds us that sacredness is not only in stillness, it is in laughter, sweat, food, sex, and song. He is the drumbeat of life, the booming voice at the fire, the hand that feeds and the hand that smites. Open quote, live well, eat well, fight when needed, leave no song unsung. Close quote. Episode 6, Hell, Queen of the Dead, Guardian of the Quiet Realm. Open quote, not all death is fire and torment. Some is soil, silence, and rest beneath roots. There she waits, not as tormentor, but as witness. Close quote. Introduction. Who is Hel? Hel, pronounced Hel like the English word, is the Norse goddess of the underworld, not to be confused with the Christian hell. Her realm is not punishment, but place of completion. She is daughter of Loki and the giantess Angerboda, sister to Fenrir the wolf and Jormungandr the world serpent. Born half living and half dead, she was cast by Odin into the realm beneath the roots of Yggdrasil, and there she became sovereign. She is not cruel, she is not merciful, she is inevitable. Symbols and realm Helheim, House of Hell, a cold, misty land of stillness and memory. The Hall of the Dead, where she judges calmly who shall rest, bones, roots and frost. Not symbols of terror, but of truth. Garma the Hound, her loyal guardian. Unlike Valhalla for warriors or Folkvangr, Freya's field, Hell receives those who died of age, illness or misfortune. She is keeper of ordinary souls, and there is honour in that. Myths and power. When Balder, the beloved god of light, was slain, the gods begged Hel to release him. She agreed. If all the world would weep for him, one old woman refused. Balder stayed dead. Open quote, even the gods must obey her laws, close quote. At Ragnarök, she is foretold to release the dead to walk again, marching beside her father Loki, not in vengeance, but in fulfillment of fate. She is not villain, she is balance. Even gods must face her door. Devotion and lessons of Hel. To honour Hel is to confront mortality without illusion or fear, memory, tending your ancestors and your own legacy, letting go, releasing what no longer breathes, rest. As sacred as growth, she comforts the grieving, strengthens the weary, and guards the bones of all who came before. Hel does not ask for fire or ecstasy, she asks for honesty. Misconceptions, not the Christian hell. Her realm is not eternal torment, not a demoness, she is judge, not torturer. Not cold-hearted, she is firm but fair. She is the last embrace we all must meet, and she greets us not as enemy, but inevitable kin. Closing thought. Hel is not the end. She is the threshold at which all striving ceases, where titles and boasts fall away, and only truth remains. Open quote. When the world lets you fall, she catches you, not to lift you, but to lay you gently in the earth. Close quote. Episode 7. Loki, trickster of fire, breaker of order, catalyst of change. Open quote, he is the laugh in the hall when silence grows too heavy, the spark that burns the rope after it has bound the wrong throat, the chaos that reveals truth. Close quote. Introduction. Who is Loki? Loki, pronounced Loki, is one of the most controversial figures in Norse mythology. Neither fully god nor giant, neither hero nor villain, he is the shapeshifter, the boundary crosser, the necessary disruption. He is god of fire and trickery, shapeshifter and genderbender. Yes, he even became a mare once and gave birth to Odin's horse, Sleipnir. Breaker of stagnant order, he causes problems, but also solves them. Loki is not evil. He is uncomfortable truth made flesh. Symbols and forms. Wildfire or spark, unpredictable, uncontrollable. Serpent, cunning and transformation. Fox, sly survivor, knots and tangled threads, cause and consequence. He appears as man, woman, fish, bird, horse, fly, smoke, laughter itself. Myths and antics. Loki's stories teach that chaos brings both ruin and creation. He cut off Sif's hair as a prank, then negotiated new gifts from the dwarves, including Thor's hammer Mjolnir, Odin's spear Gungnir, and Freya's golden boar. He saved the gods countless times, often from disasters he himself caused. Yet in the tale of Balder's death, he crossed a line. He ensured Balder stayed dead. Thereafter, the gods bound him beneath the earth, venom dripping on his face, until Ragnarök. At the end of all things, he will lead the dead in final rebellion, not out of cruelty, but completion of fate. Lessons and devotion. Loki teaches us disruption is sacred when truth is at stake. Identity is fluid. Masks are tools, not prisons. Rules are not holy, only justice is. Laughter is a weapon. Use it wisely. He is patron of outcasts, revolutionaries, queer folk, comedians, hackers, and anyone who refuses to stay in their assigned place. Misconceptions. Not the Norse Satan. He is not evil. He is necessary in balance. Not chaotic without cause. His actions expose hidden fault lines. Not untrustworthy, but he trusts few. If you deal fairly with him, he will stand beside you when others flee. Closing thought. Loki is the crack in the wall that reveals the rot within, the storm that tears away false calm, the laugh whispered in the dark that says, you can be more than this. Open quote. If the world cages you, call his name, but be warned, he will not gently open the door, he will burn it down. Close quote. Episode 8. Freya, Mistress of the Fallen, Lady of Tears and Weaver of Magic. Open quote. She rides on a chariot of cats, half the slain follow her through the mists, half follow Odin, and in her hand the whisper of sorcery bends fate itself. Close quote. Introduction. Who is Freya? Freya, pronounced Freya, is one of the most radiant and formidable goddesses of Norse mythology. Daughter of Njord, sister to Freya, she is battle maiden and chooser of the slain, leading half of the warriors to Folkvang, her vast hall Sessrumnir. Mistress of Seidr, the shamanic craft of prophecy, trance and spirit working, goddess of love, desire and beauty. But her love is never soft, it is wild, passionate and dangerous. Freya is both the joy and the cost of life. She rewards, she mourns, and she teaches the intertwining of love, magic and death. Symbols and sacred items, cats pulling her chariot, symbols of mystery and independence necklace, power, lust and allure. Feathered cloak allows her to fly between worlds, mortal and spirit. Golden tears, wealth of the heart and battlefield alike. She is both mother and huntress, lover and warrior, seer and guide. Myths and power. Chooser of the slain. On the battlefield, she claims half of those who die, not by judgment, but by fate and valour. Seidr and sorcery. She taught Odin the art of Seidr, bending time, fate, and the unseen currents of souls. Love and loss. Many stories tell of her heartbreaks, especially with Other, her lost husband, which formed rivers of tears, symbolising both sorrow and divine longing. Freya teaches that love and death are inseparable, that desire carries risk, and that magic flows from loss as much as from joy. Lessons and devotion. To walk with Freya is to embrace courage in battle, physical or spiritual, crafting your own fate through intention, Seidr or ritual, love without compromise, fierce, free and true. Navigating the unseen, journeys into spirit realms, trance and prophecy. She is the goddess of warriors, witches, seers and lovers, showing that power, passion and the sacred are inseparable. Misconceptions. Not merely a love goddess. She is as deadly and decisive as any Valkyrie, not a giver of gifts without price. Power and desire are intertwined with cost, not soft or sweet. Her tears are as potent as her war cries, and her magic does not flinch. Freya is the edge where joy meets sorrow, life meets death, and desire meets destiny. Closing thought. Freya's path asks, will you fight, love and enchant with all your being? She teaches that death is part of the journey, magic is part of the self, and love is the power that binds all worlds. Open quote. Half the dead follow me, half follow Odin. Will you walk with me through the mists and see what the unseen teaches? Close quote. Episode 9. Kali, mother of death, destruction and liberation. Open quote. She dances upon the battlefield of the mind, upon the ashes of the world, and in her wake the old burns away so the new may rise. Close quote. Introduction. Who is Kali? Kali, pronounced Kali, is one of the most profound and fearsome goddesses of Hindu tradition, revered as the dark mother who devours ignorance, ego, and death itself. She is destroyer of illusion, shattering attachment and pride, fierce protector of the devoted, the marginalized and the brave, guiding souls through transformation and death. Mother of time, for she embodies both creation and dissolution. Kali is not evil, she is truth made flesh, chaos made sacred, and death made necessary. Symbols and forms. Dark blue or black skin, infinite space, the womb and void, sword and severed head, cutting through ego and falsehood. Garland of skulls, wisdom from cycles of life and death. Dancing posture, the dynamic rhythm of destruction and creation. Tongue protruding, fearless, wild, unashamed. Her iconography is terrifying to the uninitiated, yet every aspect teaches liberation, not punishment. Mint power. Kali arose from Durga's rage to defeat the demon Raktabija, whose drops of blood birthed clones of himself. She drank his blood, stopping the endless cycle of destruction and cleansing the battlefield. In many texts, she stands atop Shiva, her consort, not as domination, but as the dynamic force animating consciousness itself. She is the teacher of moksha, liberation from samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. She embodies both terror and ecstasy, showing that true freedom requires facing the abyss. Lessons and devotion. To walk with Kali is to embrace change. All that must fall will fall. Face your shadow, ego, fear, and attachment. Honor life through death, metaphorical or literal. Celebrate raw power, yours and the world's. She is called upon by yogis and ascetics seeking liberation, witches and magicians seeking transformation, those confronting fear, loss, or oppressive cycles. Kali does not console, she awakens. Misconceptions, not evil. She destroys illusion, not devotion. Not mindless rage. Her destruction is precise, sacred, and necessary, not merely a destructive force. Every act of death is also a seed of life and rebirth. She is the fire that purifies, the night that enlightens, and the mother who does not flinch. Closing thought asks, are you ready to see yourself as you truly are, stripped, raw, and infinite? She teaches that fear and liberation are inseparable, and that to survive, you must first surrender. Open quote, bow before the darkness within, dance upon it, rise anew, stronger, wiser, unchained, close quote. Episode 10. Anubis, guardian of the dead, guide of souls, and keeper of the sacred threshold, open quote. He walks beside the river of eternity, nose to the wind, eyes alert, watching every soul's step, guiding them to rest beyond the living world, close quote. Introduction. Who is Anubis? Anubis, pronounced Anubis, is one of the most ancient Egyptian gods, predating even the rise of Osiris worship. He is the jackal-headed guardian of the dead, responsible for protecting tombs, embalming the dead, and guiding souls safely into the afterlife. He is psychopomp of the underworld, leading spirits with care and authority, weigher of hearts, assisting Osiris in the judgment of souls, protector of the departed, guarding against theft, decay, or spiritual harm. Anubis is neither cruel nor indifferent. He is precise, watchful, and sacred. Symbols, and sacred objects. Jackal head, associated with cemeteries and vigilance. Scale of Ma'at, used to weigh the hearts of the dead against truth. Black colour, symbol of both death and fertile soil. Canopic jars and embalming tools, ensuring safe passage to the next world. He is guardian, healer, and guide, a bridge between the living and the dead. Myths and power. In funerary texts, Anubis prepares the body of Osiris, ensuring resurrection. He is often shown weighing the hearts of the deceased. If the heart is lighter than the feather of Ma'at, the soul may pass. If heavier, it is devoured by Amit. His vigilance protects the tombs of pharaohs, nobles, and commoners alike. No one enters without his scrutiny. Anubis embodies careful, measured transition. Death is not punishment, but a passage that must be respected. Lessons and devotion. To honour Anubis is to respect the cycles of life and death. See endings as beginnings. Act with integrity. Your soul weighs your choices. Honour ancestors, their wisdom and protection. Walk the liminal spaces, threshold, shadow, and unknown. He is patron of funerary rites, spirit work, psychopomps, and those guiding others through transformation. Misconceptions. Not a god of evil or punishment. Death is his domain, but justice and protection are his tools. Not fearful or wrathful, he is calm, deliberate, and vigilant. Not only for pharaohs, he watches over all who pass from life to the next. Anubis reminds us that every ending is sacred and that guidance is available if we respect the journey. Closing thought. Anubis walks always at the edge of the living world, a shadowy guardian of thresholds. He teaches that transition is sacred, watchfulness protects, and death is neither enemy nor punishment. It is passage. Open quote. Step lightly, speak truth, honour your path. The guardian watches, and the heart is weighed with mercy and justice alike. Close quote.